So, hello everyone, welcome back to Oliveboard's regulatory bodies. And as you all know, RBI Grade B 2023 results were out, and here we are starting our topper series for all of you. And here we are having our first topper, that is, of course, Diksha ma'am with us, who has cleared RBI Grade B. So, first of all, I'll welcome Diksha ma'am, and then we will start with our interview. So, particularly these sessions of our interview series, in this interview series, we will have our toppers of RBI Grade B exam. They are going to share their overall journey, guidance, as well as we will try to discuss various things as well as different paths which many of the students have to go throughout their preparation of RBI Grade B exam. So, Diksha ma'am, first of all, welcome to you on Oliveboard Regulatory Bodies. And
Thank you.
yeah, and one thing, very casual, we will begin with a very casual question. It's been just 3-4 days, I think, when the result came out. And it was very shocking that result came out at such a time. So, how was your initial reaction when you first saw your roll number in the final list? And if may I ask, आप उस वक्त कहाँ थी?
Yeah, actually, I was in my office. I was working. So I was not expecting results to be out so soon after the last interview date, which was on 8th of December. So I was working and I got a call from one of my friend who is also now selected as RBI Grade B officer. So he just said me the results are out. So I just checked the PDF, and in the first instance, I couldn't find my roll number. So I was that anxious. So I thought, ki, nahi, okay, abhi I have to little calm down myself and then search for my roll number. And then finally I got it. And the feeling was just surreal. It was a dream coming true. So yeah, definitely. It was a very good experience.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Absolutely right. Ma'am, before going through series of questions as well as discussing overall your journey, I think students should be knowing everything about your background also. So could you briefly tell about yourself? You can even share your background with us before you started preparing for RBI Grade B exam.
Okay, so I come from a state of Chhattisgarh. I have done my engineering from Chhattisgarh itself. And after my engineering, I prepared for state civil services exam and UPSC civil services exam as well. After some time, I realized that I should also be looking towards the banking sector. So I gave those exams as well. And since 1 year, I was working as a probationary officer in a public sector bank. So after that, I decided, no, I should try for regulatory body also. So yeah, here I am.
Okay, ma'am. So initially, after passing out, you gave IBPS PO and you cleared that exam also.
Yeah, that was the first banking exam I gave, and I last year only I gave it. I joined a public sector bank,
Okay.
and yeah, it's been 1 year since I'm working there. So, and simultaneously, I thought of giving Reserve Bank of India's exam. So yeah,
So, I could see that you were a working professional, and
yeah,
as we all know, you had limited time. In
yeah.
spite of that, you have cleared RBI Grade B exam. So I think this particular session is going to be very, very interesting and more informative for all the working aspirants, I think. So
Mm.
with that only, let me ask you a very important question. What motivated you to pursue career in banking sector? And most importantly, already you are in an public sector bank. So what was the driving factor that you chose RBI Grade B exam again?
Ever since like I started my preparation, I was always interested in finance and economics and social issues related to it. So I started giving banking exams as well. So when I joined public sector bank, I thought why not try for the regulatory body, the central bank itself. So aiming to work with the Reserve Bank of India was also a natural career progression for me. So that was also in itself a motivation that why not work with the Reserve Bank of India if given a chance. So I put all my effort towards it.
Ma'am, as we know, working professionals, they are having their 9 hours in a day given dedicatedly for their job. So what was your average day as an working professional or maybe as an aspirant also for RBI Grade B exam? Can you take us through your working day as well as the same day you will be studying for RBI Grade B exam? Can you take us throughout your day?
Yeah, sure. Like, I think consistency is the key. So, whatever you are doing, no matter how busy schedule you have or how busy a day you have had at your workplace, you have to make sure that you have made a plan, and those are the things that you have to complete in a day. So, I used to make sure that I at least take out 2 to 3 hours every day with my work, and whenever it was off, I used to take out more time starting from the morning till night. So, that was my routine, which I followed diligently. So that's why I said consistency is the key. You have to continuously work towards it without fail.
Uh, yes, ma'am. Hello.
Yes, yes. Hello.
Yeah. So the other thing which I wanted to ask is many of the students or maybe working aspirants, they always complain that they don't get enough time. Is it true that there is scarcity of time for working professional? And if it is, how did you tackle that person?
Definitely, when you're working, you have certain commitments at your workplace which you have to fulfill. So you'll always face that scarcity of time. So, but you have, when you have a motivation and when you have an aim in your mind, you just take out your time for that particular goal and you just start working towards it. Then definitely some extra efforts are required, which are required to be put if you want to reach to your goal. So yeah, scarcity of time will always be there no matter what. But
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Indeed, this is very, very true. Ma'am, the other thing which I wanted to ask was when it comes to strategy or when it comes to preparation, overall, were there some times during your whole journey, did you face any hard times or your journey was totally smooth? Were there many challenges? Many times you had been, many of the aspirants are very low. Some aspirants there, they don't have just a month or maybe days which they feel like they don't want to study. So did you had such days or month in your preparation?
definitely, definitely. There were times when I didn't feel like studying. There were times when I felt like मुझसे नहीं हो पाएगा या syllabus is a little vast. I don't have that much time. Others, my contemporaries or my competitors, they are freshers. They are not working. They have more time. But then I used to take a day off or something, just chill with my friends or go out or just do what I enjoy doing. So that used to lift me up, and then I used to again start with the fresh mind. Okay, now I have to do this. So there will be lows. There'll definitely be lows where you'll feel you'll not be able to do it, but then you have to believe in yourself. And above everything, if you have the motivation to join the coveted, the Reserve Bank of India, you will definitely work towards it.
Yes, ma'am, indeed. Very, very true, as you said. Ma'am, RBI Grade B exam is one of the toughest banking exams if we see. So coming to the strategy, how did you prepare for phase one exam? Particularly, were there any subjects जिसमें आप weak थे? और अगर weak थे, तो आपने कैसे उन weak subjects के लिए preparation की?
Yeah, so coming to specifically phase one, first of all, I made sure that I analyze my strengths and weaknesses. So in my case, my strengths were English and current affairs. So I made sure that English, current affairs, and critical reasoning in the reasoning part of the exam. So I made sure that these are the three places where I cannot go wrong, because these sections will take me through. And indeed that happened. So one has to analyze while giving mocks that what are the sections you are extremely comfortable and which are the sections you can't just go wrong. That's your strength. So you have to analyze it while giving mocks. Coming on the sources, if I would say for phase one, for current affairs, I completely relied on Affairs Cloud monthly magazines. Apart from that, PIB, I used to visit PIB diligently and used to read one newspaper as well, Indian Express, I used to follow. Apart from that, RBI website. So that sums up for current affairs. For English, mock test, which I purchased from Oliveboard, were very helpful to me. So for English, I relied on mock tests. For reasoning, also mock tests, because I had the basic knowledge. Since I prepared for banking exams, I had the basic idea of how reasoning questions are to be tackled. So that I did through practice through mock tests also only. And for quants, I made sure that I know the basic mathematics. And after that, I jot down the most important topics which are frequently asked in the exam. I made sure that those topics don't go wrong, so that at least I clear the cutoff. So this was my simple strategy. I did not move apart from this strategy, and I continuously diligently followed it till the last, yeah, for phase one.
Yes, ma'am. Before moving to next question, which would be related to strategy or maybe related to plan, there is one thing which I am trying to relate. As you were an banking aspirant and now you have cleared RBI Grade B exam also, what parallels you can draw between banking like IBPS PO exam and RBI Grade B exam? And is it a good opportunity for banking aspirants to go for RBI Grade B exam?
It definitely is a very good opportunity for banking aspirants, as most of the things that public sector banks do are supervised by the Reserve Bank of India. So we know what all parameters RBI is actually judging public sector banks on. And most of all, most of the syllabus that is of IBPS PO and RBI Grade B in phase one resembles. So if if we can think about it, then definitely banking aspirants or the people who are working in bank can go for this exam. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Then coming back again to the phase one related stuff, very common question is asked that how much months current affairs to prepare. So for
Yeah.
all such aspirants who are confused for the number of months for their satisfaction, what would you tell them?
How many months? I would say for phase one, if you have sufficient time, you can go for like 5 to 6 months of current affairs. But if you are having paucity of time, you can very diligently read 3 months current affairs, putting extremely focus on the last 1 month current affairs. Along with that, keeping in mind that you have to go through the RBI website every other day to keep yourself updated, that suffices. For phase two, a little more number of months current affairs is required.
Okay, ma'am, got it. Uh, when it comes to like phase one as well as phase two, of course, if you clear phase one, you will go for phase two. Uh, what would be your guidance to students when they're preparing? Uh, should they prepare for phase one and phase two together? And if that is true, then how to manage time for that?
Yeah, I feel in my case, an integrated preparation made a major role because I never prepared specifically for phase one and then I would wait for result and then prepare for phase two. No, I prepared integratedly for both phase one and phase two. So while I was reading current affairs, I made sure that the topics are also covered according to the syllabus given by RBI, be it in finance, be it in ESI. So an integrated preparation is a must. And also, I made sure that the entire syllabus of RBI is properly by hearted to me, so that whenever I read any topic, I know that this topic is important and I make notes out of it. I always made digital notes that saved me a lot of time. So that was my strategy for integrated preparation.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, one more thing which I wanted to ask was when it comes to phase two preparation, there are three important subjects we all are knowing about. One is ESI, then finance and management. So for ESI specifically, what strategy did you had in your mind, and what are the sources which you followed?
Yeah, for ESI, first of all, basic economics has to be read. So I covered basic economics from Renal economy notes that I covered for economics. For social issues, I went through Vision IS notes and Mains 365 PDF that they come out with. Apart from that, one newspaper I used to read daily, Indian Express. And the most important thing I feel is the syllabus. The syllabus of ESI just go through the syllabus very nicely, and each and every topic has to be understood, has to be properly dealt with, and one can just type it in Google and just get a lot of content on it. So understanding it and understanding all the things that has been written in the topic, and then just relating it with the current affairs, it helped me a lot. So that was my strategy. And just ESI is basically your current affairs. You cannot rely on a particular book or a particular source for that matter. So the key is just by heart the syllabus of ESI, go through each and every topic. You can just Google it, you can get the content, you can make your notes on the digital platform or pen paper, whatever suits you, and then you can just revise it and update it with the current affairs which are coming in the daily newspaper. So that was my strategy for
Okay.
ESI.
Okay, ma'am. After ESI strategy, all students would be thinking about now, sir will be asking about finance and management strategy. But before that, I'll ask a very simple question. A normal question I would be asking to you, 9 hours of working, then coming back to home, then again studying. Ever you felt that the day is very, very hectic? And if it was hectic, what were the things which you used to do for just rejuvenating yourself?
I used to just talk to my mother on phone or to my father, my brother. So they just used to, pacify me कि okay, it's just not too far. लगे रहो, कर लोगी. So their motivation definitely helped me because they believed in me, and so that was a big factor. So I thought कि नहीं अभी थोड़ा सा और हो जाएगा, हो जाएगा. So that was the biggest motivation for me. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. It's true. Sometimes we do believe on ourselves, but maybe our family believes on us more
Yeah.
than us. So
Yeah.
I think, of course, credit
Yeah.
goes to them also along with you.
Yeah. Definitely.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So let's come to FM now. In context of strategy for finance, uh, and what are the sources? And as you are an engineering student, you didn't had any commerce background. So how did you face this particular challenge of finance and management?
Okay, for finance, I refer to some of the coaching notes. I read it, and whichever topics I found difficult, I just Googled them. And till the moment, I was not satisfied that I am now well versed with the topic, and the topic is very much clear to me. I used to Google it and used to go through the coaching notes or take help of some of my friends or colleagues also. So that is for finance. For management, I visited YouTube channel run by, I would name certain my mentor, I guess, Mr. Amit Lal. तो उनके वीडियो लेक्चर्स मैंने देखे थे यूट्यूब पे. दे आर अवेलेबल फॉर फ्री. Those were of immense help to me. Apart from that, I practice descriptive writing, so that helped me a lot in financing because management is more of rote learning. You have to just reproduce whatever you have learned or practiced during your preparation. So
Yes.
descriptive writing helped me deal with management. Finance was that there also the area was a little dynamic. So current affairs played a major role. So yeah, I kept myself well versed with what's going on around. Being aware is also very important in this exam.
Yes. Uh, Ma'am, in context of finance and management per se, if there is a student, like, of course, we can take your example only, you are an engineer. So similarly, if there is a student and if he's starting from scratch, can he score well in finance? What do you like? What would you tell the students?
Definitely, because the syllabus of RBI mentions basic finance and management. So it's very easy for anybody to start from scratch, learn it, and then perform on it. So it's very much possible. If I can say if I can do it, anybody can do it. It's not that big a deal. RBI just wants you to know basic financial terms and everything. So it's very much doable.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, one more important pillar in your phase two preparation, that is English descriptive answer writing, essay, précis, reading comprehension. So overall, what was your strategy for English also? Maybe small things you can tell the students, maybe typing speed, even word limit. So, what are your thoughts on it, and what was your strategy in all?
For English, my strategy was simple. Like I used to read newspaper every day. So I used to make sure that while I'm reading editorial, uh, I'm able to reproduce it in a particular word limit. Because in English exam we have to write a précis. So I made sure that out of editorials, even once or twice a week, if anybody is doing it, that is a good practice. For essay, I jot down some topics, current affair topics, and I prepared content on it so that before my exam, I can just go through it and I have certain good points to be which can be reproduced in the exam. So that was the thing. English requires a good typing speed, definitely. So that is to be practiced. I also took Oliveboard mains test series. So I practiced English from it. I made sure that I completed 600 words in the given time limit, which helped me a lot. So that was my strategy. Reading a newspaper and just going through all the current affairs that's going on is a must, so that you just don't miss any topic which is relevant and important.
Ma'am, I'll continue from here only. Many of the
Okay.
students always ask that which newspaper should we rely. So, can you just give two, three examples which you used, or maybe even you could recommend the students?
Any one newspaper would suffice for this exam. Anybody can go for the Hindu or the Indian Express. I preferred the Indian Express because I liked its vocabulary and everything, so I could deal with it properly. So you can follow. One can follow any newspaper depending on their comfort level. So in the starting, it becomes a little difficult because one is not well versed with the topics and everything. But when one gets used to it, it becomes a daily norm. Like you have to read the newspaper every day. Then it gets into your practice.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, related to overall preparation of all the subjects, what was that one subject in your preparation which was most challenging, and how did you then deal with it?
Okay. The most challenging for me was management actually, because reading it was definitely good, but reiterating it in the exam was a little difficult because I was not able to remember name of all the management professionals which were mentioned in the syllabus, and then all the
Periods.
topics, yeah, all the topics that were mentioned or the points which has to be reproduced as it was there in the syllabus. So it was a rote learning basically for management. So that was a little challenging for me because all of the subjects, they are dynamic. I can introduce my own thoughts as well, but I cannot mess with the philosopher's thought, right, in management. So that was a little challenging for me, but that was also overcome by continuous practice and consistently working towards it.
Yes, ma'am. Very true. Ma'am, the other thing which I would like to ask is, how important do you think mock tests are in any student's preparation?
Yeah. Mock tests are very, very important, in all the phases of the exam, be it phase one, phase two, or interview. So for phase one, giving 10 to 15 mock tests is, I would say, is an optimum score. So one should definitely give 10 to 15 mocks for phase one. And just giving mocks is not sufficient. You have to analyze the mocks and then analyze your strengths and weaknesses and then correct yourself accordingly. Similarly, for phase two, unless and until an aspirant is practicing descriptive writing on keyboard or laptop or whatever suits you, it won't give results. So practicing descriptive writing on a daily basis is a must through mock tests, which are available on various platforms. That is important. Even for interview, giving an optimum number of mocks is very important. Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Now let's come to the third phase, the final stage of selection, that is interview.
Yeah.
I would say that this would be your second interview because IBPS PO already you gave one interview
Yeah.
in RBI. So I think your words would be really very important for all of the students. Ma'am, in context of overall interview, how did you prepare? And what were the questions which were asked to you in your interview?
Yeah, so for my interview, I knew that I belonged to banking sector since I have completed 1 year in a public sector bank. So I knew that my questions would be around something around my profile. So I made sure that my profile related questions, I was very well versed with it. So first of all, I prepared my profile related questions. Secondly, the HR related questions, so which moved around my place of like my hometown, since I belong to the state of Chhattisgarh. So there we have the problem of internal security. So those questions also I was expecting, which I actually got in the interview. So yeah, there were 2 3 sections which I made sure that RBI functions and working I have to be well versed through. Secondly, my profile, and thirdly, my hometown related questions or my educational background. So these three were the parameters which I emphasized mostly while preparing for the interview.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, in context of your interview only, overall, how was your experience in interview? Were there any questions which were asked out of the blue? And if you could give us some of the examples, some questions which were asked.
I would say none of the questions in my case were out of blue. Most of the questions were profile based. As soon as I entered the room, since there was a long gap in my profile after my graduation till I appeared for the RBI interview. So I had this question about the gap year, which I fairly explained and everything. So they were okay, they were fine with it. And then the question related to my profile began about my bank and what role do I play there, and how do I look after the retail portfolio of my bank. So questions were revolving around my profile. After some time, questions came towards the HR section of my profile, related to my hometown and everything. Some questions were related to my hobbies, and yeah, that was it. I didn't feel uncomfortable in any of the questions as such in my interview. The panel was very much cordial, and questions revolved around my profile itself. None of the questions were out of like how can I answer this one. So I didn't face such situation in my interview, and I was the first girl to go in my interview. I was the third one to go and the first girl to go.
Okay, okay, ma'am. So overall, a very good experience in interview, I could say.
Yeah, it was a very good experience, definitely.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, the other thing which I would like to ask is a common query which comes up from the student. Which books, online resources, study materials did you find most helpful during your preparation?
Okay, I can't name like a few books or sources because there are a lot of free content available on YouTube. And depending on your requirement, you just go through all the material. So depending on my requirement, like I wanted something to be explained to me in case of management, which is crisp, short, and easy to understand. So for management, I went through this Amit Lal sir's video. They were very helpful to me. Apart from that, the content which is available on Vision I's website, so that was also very helpful to me for ESI section. So it depends on one's comfort level, whatever one is comfortable in understanding and reading, one can jot down accordingly and then prepare. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Then, ma'am, the question I would like to ask is there anything like a- anything guiding words or maybe anything else you would like to share with the viewers, especially for all the candidates who are aiming to become successful in the RBI Grade B exam of 2024?
Okay. I would just like to wish everyone all the best. And I would say that the most important thing for this exam is consistency. So if you're consistent, you will get through. Just go through the RBI syllabus very thoroughly, understand the demand of the exam, understand what they want from you, and then devise a strategy for yourself. Devise a strategy that works for you. If you're a working aspirant, devise accordingly. If you're a full-time aspirant, then devise accordingly and just work towards it. Work towards it each and every day consistently without fail. And at last, just believe in yourself that you will be able to do it. You will face definitely lows while preparation because this journey is a little longer, but you have to keep on it because you've started it, you have to do it. So just believe in yourself, and then definitely you'll get through. So all the best to all the aspirants who are going to give upcoming RBI Grade B exam, definitely.
Ma'am, thank you very much for giving your precious time to us. And congratulations once again. I know that there is a very bright future waiting ahead for you.
Thank
Uh,
you.
and of course, I truly believe that again, after some time, we will meet soon where you will be guiding more students uh, as you will be joining as an RBI Grade B officer.
Sure, sure.
Uh, I will again thank you from Oliveboard regulatory bodies to you. And we will end the session here, guys. We are going to come up with more such interview sessions for you through this topper series. Thank you very much, everyone.